All right. Hey, everyone. If you can hear me and see me, please thumb up the video. And welcome to Insurgency Broadcast. My name is Chad Booksam. Hope you guys doing really good. Just want to wait a little bit. Have some people kind of come on in. If you can hear me, thumb up the video, please. Oh, there we go. We got one thumb up. Let's see. And here I'm going to bring up the chat. All right. Hey, what's up, Ken? No, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. What's up? What's up, Jason, Rebecca, Heel Blue, Clemente, everybody tuning in. You guys hear me okay? All right. Awesome. What's up, Dana? Diane, how you doing? Inside the money. What's up, guys? All right, awesome. So just gonna wait a little bit to have some people kind of tune in. As you are tuning in, I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel, thumbing up the channel. It helps us, get in the feed a little bit. So I appreciate that as much as possible. And some important things to discuss. The Iowa caucuses are tonight. And I wanted to talk about something. Depending on the outcome and what the deep state, kind of the military-industrial complex has been doing, what they've been pushing, the Trojan horses, and what to expect in the future. Hey, what's up from Utah? Alabama in the house. Nice. I love the South. I'm in Arizona. Used to be a Republican. I don't know what the hell happened. Oh, I know what happened. They rigged it. Nobody here likes Biden. This guy won. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I'm still in 2020, after we went and voted, and after they called it so quickly for Biden, 2020, I went to my polls. I was so pissed off. I went to the polls, and I was like, let me see my ballot. Because I remember they gave me this marker, and it was leaking through. And not just me, a bunch of people actually showed up to the polls, like what the hell is going on. So, yes, this used to be the Red South or Red Southwest, whatever you want to call it. But now Arizona is like California, unfortunately. So, all right. Hope you guys are doing great. So we have the Iowa caucuses coming up now. A couple things. Have you guys noticed that? Obviously, Biden isn't campaigning. Never campaigns. Even in 2020, didn't campaign. He can't campaign. It's like a whole weekend at Bernie's thing with him. Like they have to walk around a dead person. But what we do see is big campaigning for Nikki Haley. I'm interested to see how good Nikki Haley is going to do. She is the Trojan horse in this, this race. Obviously, she's a carbon copy of Biden. She believes in endless wars in Ukraine. She believes in, what really bothers me about Nikki Haley, to be honest with you, about any politician who does it, this is what really gets me. She gets giddy when talking about the January 6th political prisoners, right? Like she's happy that we're locking up all these hostages since never like this since the Civil War. Any person who doesn't push back against this, and that's almost all of them, right? DeSantis doesn't. I see DeSantis, and I loved Ron DeSantis in Florida. Like this drove me like nuts. And look, I'm the kind of guy, I can't lie about this. This is how I am. I think Republican primaries should be a bloody fight to the death, right? It doesn't matter. It's a competition. You're supposed to say and do whatever the hell you have to do to win, right? I would. Look, let me give you an example with Trump and Vivek Ramaswamy. You don't think Vivek is being so on the side of Trump and on Trump supporters? This is a political strategy. I like what he's saying, but isn't it it's so, this is a political strategy. We know before he ran, I did not like a lot of the things he said. He was against January 6th political, he was against the protests in January 6th, but he was for locking them up. He was when it came to COVID, some of the things that I heard with his stances, weren't aligned with what we see today. But today, he's a good messenger, whatever the case might be. We need good messengers. We need people kind of speaking on our behalf. He has the money to do it. I like that. But this is, look, like Rush Limbaugh, who I miss dearly, okay, who I miss so dearly, to this day, because there's, you know, I feel like a lot of people on the right, they kind of little weaklings in this circuit. You know, oh my God, how did he say that? And everybody's focusing on the man. Remember, and I know you guys know this tuning in. This isn't about the man. This is about our future. It's not about Trump. It's not about any of these people, guys. This is about us. It's about the future. And you know, Trump's not going to be around forever, and he's not perfect either. It's about building this country up and getting people to align with what this country was founded for, right? With our ideology, with patriotism. And can we at least just stop forcing children to watch gay porn? I mean, just like that. You know, can we at least do that? I know Biden gets very angry every time we don't let kids do that for some reason. And you're right, they are selected. Look, but we have to deal with what we have, right? I know they're selected, but don't we have to deal with what we have? So, you know, somebody posted a comment saying our nominees, our presidents are selected. Yeah, like, look, yes, to a very high extent they are. But we have to deal with what we have on the table, right? Because if we don't, you're going to have something so, like, look what we have now. You know, look what we're going to continue to have. Like, at least let's stop, you know, the, you know, what's happening in the LGBTQ. At least that. Let's stop some things. So, no candidate is perfect, and understand that. So, what do you guys think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to be first place tonight? Let me just see some comments. First place in the Iowa caucus. Trump. Yeah, I agree. I think Trump's going to be, he's going to top. And I want to talk about something after that, though. All right. So, everybody, Trump. Second place. Who do you guys think second is going to be? Oh, no. And I'm just having a beer. So, you guys, let's toast if you're having a little drink. God bless. Haley's going to be sick. All right. So, you know, this is what I find really interesting. So, you know, in Iowa, it's a... in Iowa, it's recently... Not recently. It's always been like this, where they have an open caucus. So, you know, Democrats want to be Republicans for a day. This is what has always happened in Iowa, right? You know, every election cycle, they say that Dems are going to come in and try to influence either the primaries or the caucuses. You know, a little difference this time is that, you know, the deep state, these public interest groups are really helping local electors do this. Like, even when I was walking through the parking lot just the other day, a guy with a petition comes up to me and says, hey, sign a petition to allow independence. So if you see this in your state, reject it immediately, because they're trying to change things, the way we vote, right? Just like in 2020, they're trying to change the way primaries are held. So if you see this in your state where somebody comes up to you, or whatever the case might be, to sign a petition to allow independents to vote in primaries, what's really happening is they want Democrats to rig the Republican primaries for Haley, because Democrats would be happy with Haley. Again, she's a carbon copy of Biden, like 100%. But this time we have a little bit of, you know, you see the media, you see, and it's being reported that, public interest groups, the deep state, the military, people in the military are very concerned about a Trump presidency, and they're going to do everything they can to completely block his agenda. Okay, really, this is treason, obviously, anytime you go against the democratically elected president. But at the end of the day, we know that they'll do anything they can to stop anybody. It's not about Trump, guys, whoever you like. If you believe in a sovereign nation, if you're against globalism, whoever it is, take Trump out of the picture. It's your ideology that they're after. It's not the man, okay? And, you know, I just want to make sure that's clear. It's not about Trump. But right now, Trump, I think, personally, is our best choice to, you know, take it forward. Who else do we have? Please let me know. What else are we going to do? So, right now, they're assisting local electors push these agendas. They are assisting all these states to try to have open primaries, because at the end of the day, usually, Usually, because they're in a little conundrum here, right, with Biden. This is how they see it. Should we have a Trojan horse in the Republican Party and allow Haley? Because in that case, she's going to fulfill all the goals, endless wars, uh, you know, obviously everything with Ukraine and everything like that. But at the end of the day, she doesn't care about the border. She's a globalist, 100% carbon copy, Bush, Biden. Usually they want Trump to win, right? Usually they want Trump to be the Republican nominee, or how Hillary Clinton called it, the Pied Piper. I mean, I know you guys remember this, right? Because why? Because then they can do anything they want, just like the 2020. They rigged the election right in front of our face, right? They could shoot somebody on camera, literally get away with it, because they're saving the world from Hitler, right? They're saving the world, okay, from the end of democracy, even though we have dementia, Hitler, in the office right now, locking up political prisoners and just destroying this country intentionally day by day, day by day. So it is going to be interesting to see how Haley performs. If she outperforms, Ramaswamy, right? Just to give you an example, then we know a lot of Democrats are actually voting in these open primaries or open caucuses. And we have to keep a lookout on that, 100%. All right, so let's see here. So we have about... All right. And to be honest with you, Trump needs to get out. Like, we don't hear much from him anymore unless you're on social, Truth Social, which I hate the name of that platform. I wish you would have called it like Trumpet or something. Anything would have been better than that. But he should get back on X. He needs to get out there to push his message out more, because his message is pretty much defined for him. But we know what he's about, right? And we know what he's doing to him. So the actions that are taking, obviously, makes us align with him, especially given the fact that they're doing everything they can to destroy him. Okay, so here's an article. So let's see here. Look, after today, if Trump wins in Iowa, obviously they should all drop out, because we know, even you guys remember 2016, Trump he lost in Iowa, right? He started winning in New Hampshire, and then he took it from there. So if he wins in Iowa by especially double digits, everybody should just drop out, and we should align behind him. And that is when the chaos is going to begin. When it's just Trump, okay, this is when major chaos is absolutely just going to begin, and what they have planned for this country. I'm just looking at my laptop here. So let me ask you guys a question. We know what we saw during the Trump years, right? We know what we saw 2016 to 2020. So what happened? Right when he came into office, and even before that, they were spying on Trump's campaign. They paralyzed his presidency with FBI investigations. They impeached him for nothing. They went to the border, right? They went to the border and had this whole dramatic theater that he's locking up kids in cages when it's just a total mess and we need to send these people back, right? Look what all they did. Impeached him twice. FBI investigation. They've had 4 years to prepare for Trump coming back. Okay. I'm more concerned if Trump wins than even him going through the nomination process of what they would do. And this, again, and I always want to make sure that this is clear, guys. This isn't about Trump. Trump is a triggering word to people, okay? It's a triggering word to people, right? Really, they're after you. He says this, they're after you, okay? They completely know that he's telling the truth on a lot of things, right? That the J6 political prisoners are hostages, what happened with COVID, what Biden is doing, everything that we stayed here on alternative news networks for years and years and years, okay? These things are happening. These things are happening. They despise the truth beyond a belief. You've seen them even state that as they're in Davos, right? And I talked about this in the last video, that right-wing accounts are worried that if another pandemic happens, they're going to censor us, or they're going to force vaccinate us and put all these mandates out. We see it time and time again. This is exactly what they do. So there is no limit to how much they lie and what they're willing to do. And nobody, and I'm sorry to say this, nobody has taken the hits that Trump has taken. Can we at least agree on that? I know people might have like different like views on who they want as a Republican, whatever the case might be, or they don't even care. But can we at least agree that nobody in memory has taken the hits that Trump has? Now, the only thing, again, that destroys me deep inside is that the first 2 years when Trump left office, he wasn't defending the J6 political prisoners as he should. He wasn't out front of the courthouses telling these people, like, just demanding their release. But look, for the last year, he has been. And look, I know people say and do things just to win elections, whatever. Like I said, we got to deal with what we have to deal with, at the end of the day. And him and Ramaswamy are the only ones defending them. And look, I'm telling you right now, I will vote if it's Trump, Ramaswamy, and even DeSantis. I'll still vote. The only one who I'd stay thousands of miles from is obviously Nikki Haley. Let me ask you guys a question. Let's just be honest here, okay? Let's say God forbid, right? Something happened with Trump. He can't go into the general election. Would you vote for DeSantis against Biden? That's an honest question. Would you vote for DeSantis against Biden if he couldn't make it into the general election? I never. Oh my God, George is cracking me up. I never vote for a woman for president. I don't blame you. Yeah. When a woman takes me out to dinner, I drive too. So, all right. So we have. Let's see here. Some no's. Okay, yeah. So it looks like it's 50-50. We have a little bit who say, no, I would not vote for DeSantis. Why, though? Why? Like, think about it. Okay, look, I prefer Trump. I'm not saying that. But say it was just DeSantis or Biden. Say whatever happened. This is the world that we're in now. It's in the general election. DeSantis, Biden. Wow, we're getting a lot of no's. I'm like, lying dead. Yeah, I remember that. 2016, he is low-key establishment. I do. Yeah, he is. I mean, he's doing what his donors want him to do. Yeah. Look, he's doing what his donors obviously want him to do. Will there be some things that we might get some wins? I would hope so. But I hear you. I absolutely understand. I absolutely understand. Who do you think's Trump's VP if he wins tonight? Who do you think he's going to pick? Look, guys, at the end of the day, just so you know, I kind of don't like to heavily weigh in on the primary process too much. But given the things that we have going on, yeah, I absolutely want Trump. I think they stole it from, I don't think, I know. They stole it from him last time. I think we were much better off. I think in 2016 to 2020, the economy was doing amazing. I was thriving. People that I know, friends, family, it was much better, right? You didn't go buy a packet of chicken and it was $500. Much better. The only thing is COVID, right? This is what happened. So, and you have to put yourself maybe in Trump's shoes, but it's not as easy as it seems when you're in the White House and you're making all these decisions. But when COVID hit, so Trump had a couple options, right? This was the options from Trump. Either Because you know he had the CIA, the military, all these public interest groups, scientists, just hundreds and hundreds of them coming into the Oval Office, warning him about this, that millions and millions and millions of people are going to die. I mean, just think about that if you're president of the United States, right? And you know that something's up, right? Like, wait a minute, coming from China, Fauci, this has happened. We know they're trying to rig the election, yada, yada, yada. But day after day, you have these people coming in here to the Oval Office and saying, hey, this is going to kill millions of people. It's not easy. And I don't put all the blame necessarily on Trump about that, you know, because it's not easy. Should he have fired Fauci? Yeah. Should he have fired all these other people? Yeah. Was he pretty bad at hiring people? Yes. You know, so there's a lot of things. And like, look, but he's an outsider. So, like, I understand, like, I'm a pragmatic person like Trump. Like, if you come into the White House or you come in office, you're an outsider. You're getting advice on who you should hire, who you should put in. So Trump would fire people immediately. I like that about him. So if they're not performing, they're not doing the job, he'll give you a shot, right? The equal chance of opportunity, right? Not the equal chance of the outcome. He'll give you a chance. That's why he fired so many people. I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that. So really it was that. Now, has Trump learned his lesson from COVID? Has he learned his lesson that these people you can't be pragmatic with? You can't make these deals with. You're not dealing with American patriots. You're dealing with people who are trying to intentionally destroy this country. Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, thank you so much. Please thumb up the video. It's at 69, the thumbs up. Maybe I should keep it there though. It's a good number. But no, let's thumb it up. If you don't mind, please. It helps me when we share it. And I'm going to do a quick update really quickly here to see how we're doing as far as time goes with the Iowa caucuses. Let's see here. You know, yeah, George makes a good point. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, listen to my son, George Bruno. He has a really good channel, helps you out with a lot of things, especially if you're going through issues in your marriage or divorce. But what I find is, yeah, like voting for a woman, right? Now let's take a stance on that objectively, right? Think about that for a second. Look, I personally would, right? I personally would, but they, you know, obviously they're more, yeah, like we know, they're more sensitive, they're more emotional, things of that nature. But if it's the right one, I would, you know, if it's the right message. Because sometimes men can act like women. And I'm sure a lot of you would agree with that. Sometimes men can be like little girls. So no, if it's the right, like there's strong woman, like great messaging or character or values, things of that nature, yeah, I might. And, you know, I might get disagreed about on this. But it really depends. It really depends. All right, so let's see here. Maybe once a month she needs to go on vacation. All right, so it's looking that Donald Trump, okay, is expecting a pretty big blowout in Iowa, right? A pretty big blowout. But I want to read a little article to you guys. I'm not going to read a long article. Let me just show you guys this here. I want to find this article. 1 second. Hang in there, guys. Okay, so here it is. So this is reported. I like Rand Paul. Rand Paul is great. Somebody said Rand Paul. How do you guys feel about Robert Kennedy, RFK? Just out of curiosity. Compared to, you know, Haley or DeSantis. Rand is a good choice. I like Rand a lot. But what do you think about RFK? You know, I really liked him on the whole like COVID thing. Um, I don't like him on anything else. I don't like him on social or domestic issues. To be honest with you, not at all. You know, economically, he's a socialist. Culturally, he's a Marxist. But science, no things. You know, when it comes to bodily freedoms and things like that, I loved a lot of the things that he had to say. And that's the issue, man. You know, that's the issue. It's hard to align yourself, you know, with a candidate when there's so many things, there's so many different consequences in all aspects of life. And yeah, and RFK is a little, you know, he's a little over the place on things. I don't think he has a chance in hell. It doesn't even matter. I mean, look, the Democrat Party. This is the big difference. People, you know, want to weigh the Republican and the Democrats. At least the Democrat Party, they always coronate their person, right? With us in the Republican primaries, we always have to just like go through hell to get the person that we want. And it's never a coronation. It's a really tough fight to win the Republican primary compared to the Democrat primary, especially because they have super delegates. Super delegate, right? Oh, we have super delegates, and remember this with Hillary Clinton. Okay, so let me read you. Fears grow that Trump. If it gets a little too bright, just let me know. Look at that sun. That sun is good. Nothing wrong with sun. Okay. Fears grow that Trump will use the military and fears grow that Trump will use the military as he's a dictator if he returns to the White House. This is what they're saying. This is what NBC is reporting, that Donald Trump is sparking fears among those who understand the inner workings of the Pentagon, that he would convert nonpartisan U.S. military into the muscular arm of his political agenda as he makes comments about dictatorship and devalues the checks and balances that underpin the nation's. Oh, God. Every time the media says democracy, it makes me just want to, like, vom, right? There is no democracy. We don't live in a democracy. Okay, first of all, we live in a constitutional republic. Well, we don't even live in that anymore. I don't even know what we live in. Everything is rigged. Everything is fake. At the end of the day, you know, you're barely, if you get even a little bit of freedoms. We need a new name for our country. It's a corrupt democracy, right? Or it's a corrupt constitutional republic, right? Right? The CCR, corrupt constitutional republic. So a circle of appointees, independent of Trump's political operation, steered him away from ideas that would have pushed the limits of presidential power in his last term. Yeah. So what they're trying to tell you is that no matter who you vote for, no matter who you elect, you are not going to get the changes that you want. Because to defeat this bureaucratic state, it takes more than one person, that's for sure. But at the end of the day, they're telling you who holds the true power, and it's not the president. It is the deep state. It is these black suits who come in. It is these ops that are off, they're off the record when it comes to budgets and Congress. The real people who run this country are not elected, not the rotating chairs. The people who sit there for year after year after year, permanent members of the administrative state, or the deep state, as we call it. So now bracing for Trump's potential return, a loose network, okay, listen to this, a loose network of public interest groups and lawmakers are quietly devising plans to try to foil any efforts to expand presidential power, which could include pressuring the military to cater to his political needs. Biden is using intel services and the military to carry out his hostages, right, that he's locking up. There is nothing more important to me than the January 6th political prisoners. And anybody who has family or friends who are there, this is the most important issue on the docket. Absolutely, there's not a word for it besides civil war when it comes to locking up the political opposition. When it comes to these mom and pops who just showed up at the White House walking around, or Congress, whatever. There is nothing more important to me than that, because the left day after day burns this country down and they get let go. Murderers, kidnappers, and thieves, their sentences are much less. And we have intentional destruction. Our future of our country is at stake. We might not have a way back. And, let's hope the people in this country get smarter and smarter quickly. All right. Oh, look at that. Okay. Now, we're going to still have some time before results come in. I'm going to try to hang tight as long as possible to see what's going to happen. Okay. Oof. So now the only thing that I am a little concerned about is Haley. If Haley is very close to Trump in this, that means that a lot of Democrats came in these primaries and voted. The caucuses and voted. We are really, today, we are going to see, like after today, after the Iowa caucus, we are really going to see the game. I've been waiting for this day. I want to see how the game is going to lay out. And depending on how she performs, given the fact that we know that most of the majority is for Trump, is going to tell us a lot on what to expect in the coming weeks and the coming months. And remember, this is a long game. This is a long match. They have more indictments. They have more arrests. They have more attacks coming at Trump. It's not just what they've been doing. Usually they wait to the last minute. You know this, right? October surprises, they wait to the last minute. They have systematically been just piling on Trump until he drowns, like with indictments and everything like that. Like he can't even breathe. He's not even going to be able to campaign with all the indictments that he has. And a lot of people say, no, Chad, they would never put him in jail. Yes, they would. They would. They would. Just like they're putting the J6, they put it, oh, he has Secret Service. How are they going to put the Secret Service in jail? It doesn't matter. They'll figure out a way. Period. Haven't we seen that they don't care what we think? Haven't we seen that they come on camera bragging about their authoritarian rule over us? We're at a stage now where they brag about how far they will go. And we all know when they say Trump's the end of democracy, it's the end of their rule. It's the end of the ruling power. And, so let me, actually, I want to ask something. Are you guys seeing any changes in your friends, family who maybe supported Biden in the past or supported Democrats or didn't support Trump? Are you guys seeing like, okay, this is enough? When it comes to the economy, inflation, can't buy a house, groceries, gas. Are you guys seeing a change with people? Are they accepting that, okay, this is enough, we need to change, we need a different path in this country, we can't vote left? Like, I'll be honest with you, I've been struggling to find it. See. Yeah. Enjoy. They wouldn't even let Trump attend his mother-in-law's funeral. So you see how this is corrupt, and George Bruno was saying this. So Melania's mother, I believe, passed away recently. And yeah, the Trump gave a request to the judge. And this guy, if you ever seen this judge in New York who is, presiding over this thing, oh my God, like he just smells like the worst, like liberal you ever see in your life. Well, he denied that request because it's so important. Like, it's not even an important case. There is no fraud. It's all fixed. But when you've had day after day, week after week, month after month of this theater, this fake witch hunt to just keep going on and on and on, look, even Trump knows he has to go through the process. He has to deal with these people. I mean, can you believe having to deal with these people? Like, if you're Trump sitting there with this like lady, she's sitting there behind you, like laughing her butt off. Look what I did. She ran, Lolita James or whatever her name is. These are, oh man, the worst people. This is like the worst woman ever. Okay, to she was running on what? Oh, I'm gonna get Trump. I'm gonna arrest Trump. Then she got elected, and what did she do? She went out and she got Trump on nothing, on paying back his loans. Think about this. Trump got arrested for paying back his bank loans. This is it. He got indicted because he paid back his bank loans. And they said, wait a minute, but the way you valued it was a lot, it's not, it doesn't even make sense. It was a lot less. So Mar-a-Lago is worth a lot of money. So they're putting at 18 million. We know Mar-a-Lago is worth hundreds and hundreds of millions, not just because of the property where it is in Florida, because also the historical nature of it, right? It's Trump's place. You know how much you can sell that place for? So it's just interesting day after day seeing these shenanigans go on, seeing this pathetic, corrupt court process go on, and it just goes to show you what we're in for the next year. All right, so now, like, look, the chat went away really quick, but somebody said, regardless of the left or right paradigm, follow Jesus Christ. I absolutely agree, but no, I don't agree. Do you know why? Because just this main difference with the left. They're forcing your kids to watch gay porn. They're doing the child mutilation. This whole LGBTQ mafia. Just on that alone, the morals of it, on that alone, you know, that's it. At least that's not happening in the Republican Party on the right. Look, there is some, don't get me wrong, there is some who are not passing things, but the majority of the Republican Party, even elected officials, are against it, and you know it, right? So what party would we have a better chance at stopping this gender psychosis, this satanic pedophilia campaign that is destroying children and destroying their whole lives? Okay, what party do we have a better chance of stopping that? Just on that alone. So look, it is a paradigm when it comes to maybe your people's personal things, but there are major differences. There are major effects on this country that we have to recognize. We have to stand up and fight for it. And this is the problem in this country. Nobody voting. Like, look, there's gonna be a lot of fraud. You gotta stand up. You gotta go vote. I don't care. Even if like, okay, oh, but it's gonna be rigged. It's gonna be stolen. It doesn't matter. At least try. What else are we gonna do right now? We have to deal with the cards that were dealt. We have to look at the hand and decide where do we want to go as a country. And if we can have one little win on one minor issue, at least that's a good thing. Like, check this out. Say nothing happens, right, except that the January 6th political prisoners get released. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But say nothing else happens. You know, like the border, everything, the economy, that would still be a win. We have to play our cards right. We have to be smart, and we have to do what we have to do. Simple and plain. And it's not just a paradigm where everybody's... No. One party is on a rapid, intentional destruction of this country since LBJ. Okay, LBJ was the worst president who ever existed. This guy completely created everything that we're seeing happening right now. Okay, LBJ is the reason for this whole freaking mess that we're in. He built the blueprint for the Democrat Party. Bastard. All right. So check this out. Coming from Fox News. And anybody who's just tuning in, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys tuning into my live broadcast. Please thumb up and share the video. It greatly helps us with the algorithm on YouTube. Fauci's ex-boss now says COVID-19 lab leak theory was credible, despite previous claims that it was a distraction. You know, they're meeting in Davos, right? The World Economic Forum. They're meeting this week in Davos, talking about Disease X, the next pandemic, right? It's pretty much imminent. And I don't think that people are aware of what's coming, but it's a combination of things, to be honest with you, in my opinion, which is terrorism and things that are coming from the border, which is going to be pandemic-related issues, and they're going to double down. Do you think they're going to back off? Now, a lot of people say, Chad, no, none of this is true. Were you alive in 2020? What do you mean none of it is true? Were you there in 2020 when they turned this country to China? Because absolutely, they'll do, not only, they're coming on camera, they're at the damn meeting saying they're going to do it again. Right? They're there saying they're going to do it again. And that's how you know you're living under an authoritarian rule, when you have these people bragging on camera that they're going to do it again, laughing about it with no repercussions, right? With no repercussions at all. All right. So, yeah, we have the pandemic. We have the illegal immigration coming through across the border. We know what's happening in the Middle East. World War III is on the horizon. Iran. Look, Anthony Blinken has been going through the Middle East, preparing everybody for this direct conflict with Iran. They're bombing the hell out of Yemen. They've attacked every Middle Eastern country on this in the Middle East. And what they're doing, and I hope this is obvious, that they are trying to take out Iran's proxies first. So Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthi rebels, Syria, Iraq, the proxies of Iran before any direct conflict occurs. And the direct conflict will occur from, in my opinion, a false flag in this country, okay? From everything that we see happening. We know that Trump, and this is another thing, look, a lot of people forget this, okay? This is another reason to vote for Trump. A lot of people forget this. Do you remember when Iran shot down one of our drones during Trump's presidency? If you remember this, thumb up the video if you remember. I just want to get a gauge so I can see. Do you guys remember this? When Iran shot down a United States drone during Trump's presidency. Do you guys remember this? Okay. So John Bolton was in his cabinet as an advisor. Everybody around Trump, every single person, including the mainstream media, were dying for Trump to attack Iran. They were supporting him. The mainstream media was finally nice for literally this occasion. So when Iran shot down the drone, the mainstream media was backing Trump, right? The military-industrial complex, everybody saying Trump, everybody around him, his own advisors, and I know this for a fact, were telling him, let us take action against Iran with missile strikes targeting certain military installations. Trump is the only one who said no. He is the only one who backed off. So let's change shoes here and put Haley in that position. Do you think that would have happened? DeSantis in that position. Do you think that would have happened? Ramaswamy in that position. Do you think? No. They would have all went along with what their advisors are saying. That alone, okay, That alone right there makes the difference, okay? Makes the difference to say, you know what, I'm going to vote. Makes the difference to stand up. Makes the difference to say, okay, this is not a paradigm. Which, again, a lot of things are. But makes the difference to say, wow, we had somebody, that was World War III right there. Like live action, and also a way for the deep state to take out Trump. And he backed off of it, the only one. All right. So I respected that a lot. I did. And speaking of Iran, Iran fires missiles at terrorists and spies in Iraq and Syria. And we have the least transparent presidency ever now. Like, we don't know what's going on, right? Like, remember when Biden was coming in, he was saying he's going to be the most transparent president in U.S. history? I can't believe he won. I'm still like, every time I see him, it's just like so funny. But remember, he said he's going to be the most transparent president in U.S. history? Yeah, transparently stupid. He can't even find the freaking stairs on the stage. He's lost, right? Do you know who's running our country? George. And this is going to kill you, George. I know you're tuning in. Okay? High school girls who are on Twitter and really good at it are running this country. Okay? These are the ones. Literally young, like Gen X, millennial girls on Twitter are running the cabinet. And some of these are boys who act like you know, because it's just, look, we live in a day and age now with the Gen X, like, girl, man, they're all just like, you know, flimsy girls. Unfortunately, this is the situation that we're in. There's no more real men because, and I said this, you know, like, you know, a long time ago when I was doing 2014, 2015, that we've come so soft as a country. You know, there's too many McDonald's, too many malls, you know, and too much putting things on pedestals, men turning to women, women turning to men, or not even, but just that our society has become weak, and good times brings weakness. Hard times bring strength. There's a better line for this. But at the end of the day, we're at that point where weak men are destroying our country. This is exactly where we're at. Could you imagine even like a war, right? Who's going to fight this war? Right? Who would fight this war? I don't see anybody, even my friends who have, you know, family members decade after decade, generation after generation joining the military, that they will not go no matter what. They will not do that at all. So who are you going to have there? Okay? What are you going to have there? You know, they did this huge LGBTQ military recruitment, which I found interesting. And what are they expecting from that? Look, I think that the military likes to use the civilian population as cannon fodder, right? You know, but at the end of the day, I support all the transgenders and the LGBTQ community shipping out to Ukraine and fighting for us on behalf of this country. Go ahead, guys, girls, or things. Go ahead. I support that. All right, let's see here. Okay. All right, so we're still waiting. And here, I want to throw another question to you guys. What is, in your opinion, the number one thing that should, like, say Trump does win, gets the presidency? What should be his first act? Like, what do you want to see change or happen? The first stage, like on day one, like, what do you want to see happen? Okay, so the border, drain the swamp. I don't think the swamp will ever get drained, unfortunately. Get out of NATO. J6 people. Yeah, that's, I think, my thing here. Yeah. Look, open the pipelines. Yeah, pardon the J6 participants. Economy, get out of the wars, out of NATO. Yeah. Okay. Now, Trump absolutely. This is what we could expect from Trump. For the border, his policies to remain in Mexico and start deporting them. I think that's going to absolutely occur. Um, Regardless from the pushback, regardless if AOC goes, and she starts crying that there's children in cages. Do you see now? There's not children's in cages. In cages, there's children's in beautiful little mini homes and beautiful little mini plastic homes now with parents who might be their parents or might not. This is what it is now. I love the change in the language from them. I want to see the January 6th political prisoners released immediately. Now, how could he do that if it's going through the courts? This is the problem. This is the problem. Like, how can't he could do it? He could pardon all of them. Actually, yeah, he has the power to pardon them, all of them. So we need that commitment, and we need to see that happen on day one. Trump has the authority, and listen to this, guys. Trump has the authority to pardon every January 6th prisoner and have them released. Okay? So again, with the paradigm, if who's our greatest chance? Trump to do that or Biden? Trump, right? Again, with the paradigm issue, it doesn't matter. These things kind of matter, right? Okay. So, no, I agree with that. Also, with the border. Also, look, he couldn't build the wall. He was like trying to, apparently. Couldn't like finish it or whatever the case might be. He did build some of it. And then Biden came in and tore a lot of it down, which I found interesting. But at the end of the day, do you guys remember this? This is something that's going to make you laugh. You know how Biden says there's no crisis at the border? Is that, no, we never told the illegals to all start coming. Guys, do you remember the primaries in with the Democrats? And a question was asked. This kills me every time. A question was asked. They said, do you believe in providing free health care to undocumented immigrants? Do you believe, they asked him in a debate, okay, with all the major nominees on stage, do you believe in providing free health care to illegal immigrants? Every one of these Marxist pieces of trash raised their hand, including Biden, all right? He promised free health care if you run your ass across the border. So why do you think they're all coming? As soon as Biden was elected, or it's not elected, installed as a toilet, okay, they came in droves. And the biggest record ever in U.S. history just in the last year. You created this. Now let's get even funnier, right? It's going to get even a little more funnier. All these cities who were seeing, okay, Florida, Arizona, Texas, all these border states were getting affected by illegal immigration, and they made a big deal about it, saying we can't deal with this anymore. The Democrats in all these cities who were safe up north said this, that, no, oh, how dare you, you racist, sex, whatever name they have in the book against us. You know what we're going to do? We're going to create sanctuary cities in our cities up here up north, because you guys are racist, and how dare you don't want to accept illegal immigrants. Okay. So they created sanctuary cities at a time when they didn't have an illegal immigration issue, because it was all coming up with the border states were dealing with it. Now, and I love this more than anything. I love it so much. You guys have no idea how much I love this. With Texas, with Abbott, and with even with Florida, okay, DeSantis was doing this. So they were sending the illegal immigrants to the sanctuary cities, because it's the sanctuary. That's the sanctuary, right? That you created, and you want them to come. As soon as they started flooding in, all of these radical leftist liberals started sounding like Trump. Okay, started sounding just like Trump. Did you hear Eric Adams, who's the mayor in New York? He said this: they're coming after you. They're coming into your neighborhoods. Our country, our state can't survive. The economy is going to collapse. Don't come to our city. We have to deport you. So even like more aggressive than how Trump was being when they got a little freaking taste of it. And I love that. I think that's probably the best thing any Republican governor has done in like recent history, which is sending the illegals into the Democrat cities and letting them deal with it. You know, I give that to him. I give that to him a lot. I don't think Trump will ever exit NATO. I don't think the U.S. military industrial complex. This is the issue with Trump, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys about this because I try to be an honest person. I'm not perfect, but I try to be an honest person. This is my issue with Trump. You can have this general who's the biggest piece of shit. I'm sorry, on planet Earth. He's a horrible person. He's a globalist, but he comes in the room, right, and he starts complimenting Trump. Maybe complimenting his tie, like the way he looks, and he says, "I like your messages." And Trump feels like he can deal with this person, or it's pragmatic, and just kind of goes along, right? We know when Trump, if he becomes president, that this entire apparatus is going to come at him to prevent us from ever leaving NATO, from ever stepping back. The threats, whatever the case might be. But we know previously, in his first term, a lot of the people who got in are the people who were kissing his ass, and he hired them. But then he fired them. Then he hired them. Then he fired them. Then he hired them. And then he fired them. It's too much. Stop being stupid with your freaking decisions on hiring. And this is, like gets to me. Like a lot. Just because somebody compliments your tie, okay, don't just like start liking the guy. And I feel like that was like a lot of times with Trump, they would scheme their way in by kissing his butt. And then like he would kind of see, oh wow, this is actually not good for me. And then he'd fire him later. Get smarter with your damn hiring decisions. God's sakes. Everybody compliments you, you should hire. So, that's a thing he has to work on. He has to be more critical on who he's hiring and putting in these places. It's ridiculous. And he has to just act on it. Don't get like... And I think now, though, after everything he's done, after all the arrests, everything that he's done, guys, I am more excited for the second chance than we were the first chance, right? I mean, think about it. Like, what the hell does Trump have to lose, right? What the hell does he have to lose? Now, so if he gets elected, again, which would be historical. I mean, honestly, it'd be so funny just because it's going to piss off like the Democrats so much. Just because it's going to make the left just like die, right? It would like, this alone brings me more joy than anything. I mean, what president who is like, they step down, because they never run again. Once they lose, like they never run again. And I would love to see it just for historical reasons. There was one president who did that too. Who can name him? Who can name the president, okay, this is a very long time ago, who had 2 terms, but they were separate. They weren't back to back. Does anybody know? There was another president who did that. No, it wasn't Lincoln. Mm-mm. Did somebody say Cleveland? Yes. You guys remember? I'm going to pull him up really quick. Yep. Grover Cleveland. Actually, like, if you look him up, he looks like Trump a little bit, which is kind of funny. But, he was a Democrat, but they were all Democrats back then. So, yeah, he was the first Democrat elected after the Civil War in 1885. And he became the 22nd president. He lost the 23rd to be 23rd president, and then he won as the 24th. You know, which and he was the only president to leave the White House and return for a second term 4 years later. So, yes, it was Grover Cleveland, whoever had that right. Just a little historical factoid for you guys. Alrighty, let's see if there's anything new happening here. What time? All right. And it's freezing because of global warming. It's freezing in Iowa. We have like Arctic conditions, unbelievable. Even in Arizona. You know, it's like 30 degrees here in Arizona at one point, like the last couple of weeks. It was nuts. But Iowa Republicans right now are braving the cold, and they are doing their best to vote. So we're going to see two things. But it's not just Republicans. Remember, guys, Democrats can come in and they can vote too. They can vote in the Iowa caucuses, and they're probably there, and they're going to vote for Nikki Haley. I want to see how big this operation is. This is honestly what I'm very interested in seeing, because we know the deep state, these public interest groups have funded this operation, the Republican for a Day operation. So I want to see what kind of effect it's going to have, especially in this election. Because after this, New Hampshire loves Trump, right? New Hampshire loves Trump. South Carolina, Nikki Haley was the governor. I still think she would lose, right? But again, we know that all these states are putting in these petitions to have open primaries. So I really want to see this effect, okay? If Nikki Haley gets very close to Trump, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. That means that they are absolutely have a much big funding operation to rig the primaries by allowing Democrats, independents to vote. You know, I'll tell you like this. If all the people who showed up at football games and basketball games and like when Trump comes in and if they just all went and voted, we can overcome this fraud, right? We can overcome it. You know, not a lot of people vote in this country. Not a lot at all. Let me see. I want to see the percentage, actually. Let me see. Huh. No, that got to be a lie. Hold on. So they're saying about 2/3 of the voting population turned out for the 2020 election. Yeah, that's because their mail-in ballots were being submitted for them. So that's pretty obvious. 68%. Oh my God. And remember, guys, this is a big issue, like going into the general election. A lot of these mail-in states, they made it permanent. There's about 7 states that made it permanent. Nevada, which Trump has to win, they made the whole mail-in ballot thing permanent. Trump, and here in Arizona, you know what, like they said in Arizona that, no, this has been happening forever. 80% of the population has been voting by mail the whole time. Absolute freaking lie. And nobody needs an excuse to get in a mail-in ballot, you know. Originally, it's been where you would have to submit some kind of reason why you can't make it to the polls. You know what James Wood said today, and I absolutely love this idea, to make Election Day a national holiday, right? Everybody's off, everything is closed. We vote that day. That's it. Paper ballots, whatever the case might be. I think that's an absolutely great idea. Alrighty. So I've been going for about an hour. I love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate all of you. I'm going to sit back and watch the election results roll in. And I'll update you as soon as I get some numbers coming in. Besides that, any questions? You guys good? If there's anything you want me to talk about or any questions you had, I'd be happy to answer. Oh, thanks, MW. You got it. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. I agree with that, Kelly. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate you. Alex. Thanks, guys. Do I think so I'll answer this. Do I think that they will actually stick with Biden, or do I think that we will make it to 2020? If Trump wins, they might change the nominee, right? Because Biden just can't. If Haley wins, she's the Trojan horse, so it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Biden would stay. Like if Nikki Haley wins the nomination, Biden would stay. If Trump wins, I don't know, for some reason, I feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel that they would want to replace Biden, especially given the circumstances that occurred the last few years and how this country is just completely done for, and everything that Trump has stated came out correct. So it all depends on the nominee. But yeah, we have people in the waiting. You know, Michelle Obama, Gavin Newsom. There are people in the waiting. There are other options, or they'll just stop elections. Just remember this: it's not going to be an easy ride. They're not going to just allow this to just fall through. They're not going to allow Trump to just take it. You know, they're going to make it as difficult for us as possible. They're going to try to choke us out, and you know, we all have to be prepared, keep our eyes open. And again, and one more thing from the heart, guys. You know, I know like the last year I didn't post too much, and I'm sorry about that. And I've been doing everything I can to take care of my family, you know, financially. But this year it's critically important, and I just want to be here with you guys talking the truth. No, I truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you guys sticking with me all this time, and it means more to me than you could possibly know. And last thing, if you don't have X, create an X account, Twitter account, follow me there, because look, we have to take advantage when there's free speech. This might not last long with Elon Musk, but you know, I can say whatever the hell I want to say on there. So if you have Twitter, or if you don't have Twitter, X, create an account, Insurgency Broadcast, look me up there. All right. And again, I'm gonna keep my eye on this. I love you guys. I'll be back soon. And I'm going to update you as soon as I hear the results from the Iowa caucus. All right. Take care, guys. God bless.